Divine feminine. Something is shifting in your energy field, and Spirit wants you to hear this clearly. There's someone out there who's finally starting to understand the depth of what they once overlooked. You've always been more than just a moment or a feeling. You've been a sacred mirror, and now that mirror is staring them right in the soul. They thought they could keep this connection light, surface level, predictable. But your energy doesn't let anyone stay asleep. What's rising now is truth, raw, emotional, and deeply spiritual. And the closer we get to this full moon, the louder it becomes. This person knows they let you down, and it's haunting them in ways they can no longer hide. Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, I'm glad to have you home. I just want to take a moment to say how grateful I am that you're here, because the energy that's already coming through feels powerful, and I can tell this message is meant for someone who truly needs it today. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you feel called to go deeper, the extended readings and extra guidance are always available on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. That's where we get into the longer, more personal layers of these messages, and it's a beautiful space to connect on a deeper level. And while you're here, don't forget to support the channel by liking this video, leaving a comment below, and sharing this reading with someone who may need to hear it. Your energy in this community makes such a difference, and I love reading your thoughts and reflections. Now let's go ahead and shuffle the deck together. Spirit, we ask you to guide us in this moment, to bring through the clearest and most aligned messages for those listening. As I set the energy for this reading, I can already feel the cards beginning to stir, and I know something important is ready to come through. Okay, Divine Feminine, I just pulled the Empress. And wow, this energy couldn't be more aligned with you. This card carries the frequency of deep intuition, emotional maturity, and creative power. And what's coming through so strongly here is that you are in a season of profound energetic ripening, where everything you've planted emotionally and spiritually is starting to bloom. But here's the thing. This full moon that's approaching isn't just shining light on your outer world. It's activating something internal. It's almost like Spirit is gently nudging you and saying, "Get ready. What's been hidden in the dark is about to be revealed." You may start to feel this in your body first, Divine Feminine. Maybe you've been getting those full body chills out of nowhere, or your crown chakra has been buzzing like you're picking up signals from the universe. There might be ringing in your ears, goosebumps, strange dreams, or moments of clarity that come without warning. And it's not random. These are signs. Because this full moon energy is different. It's tied to something sacred, something karmic, something you've already felt building in your spirit for weeks now, even if you haven't had the words for it. And the reason this energy feels so intense, it's because the full moon is showing you the emotional blueprint of your connection with this person. It's not just about closure. It's about completion. It's about looking at everything that's happened between you two and asking, what have I learned? What have I healed? And what am I now ready to embody? Because whether your masculine realizes it or not, they're being pulled into this shift with you. And that's why their energy is coming through so strongly right now. That's why, even in silence, You still feel them. But let's go deeper, divine feminine. The moon is ruled by feminine energy, and you are directly wired to it. This is why you often pick up on the changes before your masculine does. You feel the tremors before the quake. You receive the download before the conversation even happens. You've been shown parts of this journey through signs, numbers, songs, and dreams. And now it's all starting to make sense. Spirit is showing you patterns. Spirit is revealing cycles. And you are being asked to trust what you've already seen, even if you haven't fully lived it yet. For some of you, this shift has been building for a while. You've been journaling more, praying more, protecting your energy, and anchoring into your spiritual gifts. And it's working, because this connection, no matter how quiet or distant it may seem, has never stopped moving. The full moon is simply exposing how deeply spiritual it actually is. You're not imagining it, divine feminine. You've been growing spiritually even in their absence. And the more you grow, the more your light reveals where their shadows still live. There's something else Spirit wants you to know. This moon phase is going to reveal more than just feelings. It's going to highlight identity. Your masculine may be going through an identity shift tied to worth, stability, and masculine expression. And because you've risen so high in your feminine energy, it's triggering their internal compass. They're feeling that call to rise too, but they're also facing every part of themselves that has been disconnected from their own intuition. So if they've been distant, emotional, or quiet, don't take it as rejection. It's resistance. And it's rooted in their unfamiliarity with this level of spiritual connection. You, divine feminine, have always felt more. You've always known more. You've been living this connection on a soul level. So this full moon is a checkpoint for you, a moment to pause and recognize just how far you've come. And as you do, Spirit is going to continue giving you glimpses, flashes of clarity, energetic confirmations, and emotional breakthroughs that let you know you're not crazy for feeling everything as deeply as you do. So if you feel this intensity rising as the moon becomes full, don't be afraid of it. Welcome it. Let it show you what still needs to be released. Let it affirm what's already been healed. And most of all, let it bring you closer to your own power. Because the Empress doesn't chase. She attracts, she nurtures, she receives. And that's exactly what you're being asked to do right now. Stand in your light and let everything meant for you rise up to meet you. All right, divine feminine. I just pulled the High Priestess, and immediately the energy shifted. It's like this quiet wave of knowing just swept through the room. This card is all about what's unseen but deeply felt. Mysteries, intuition, sacred knowledge, and the kind of truths that don't need to be said out loud to be understood. And the moment I laid this card down, I heard, "Our little secret." And I know you felt it too. That quiet, powerful thing that exists between you and your person. The world doesn't see it, but it's been real to you since the very beginning. See, you've always known that this connection was way more spiritual than physical. You've felt the pull in your dreams, in your body, in the space between songs and silence. And maybe there were times where you doubted it, where you thought, maybe I'm just making this up, maybe it's one-sided. But let me say this clearly, you're not crazy. What you've been experiencing is real. Your person feels it too, but the way they're processing it, it's different because they weren't prepared for something this invisible yet undeniable. What's rising now under this full moon energy is a deeper truth, one that's been hidden in plain sight. Your souls have stayed close even when your bodies have been apart. And that closeness, that soul-level intimacy, it's become like your own little world, one that doesn't follow the rules of the 3D, one that doesn't require texts, calls, or constant reassurance to survive. And yet, there's still this feeling of secrecy around it. Not because either of you are ashamed, but because it's sacred, it's quiet, it's personal. And your masculine has been holding it close like a secret they're not ready to explain. But here's what's happening behind the scenes, divine feminine. This connection, it's not just something they feel in their heart anymore. It's starting to weigh on them physically. Because secrets, even sacred ones, can get heavy over time, especially when someone is used to living only in the physical world. Your person is naturally more action-based, more grounded in what they can see and touch. So, living in the realm of dreams, thoughts, and feelings, it's been stretching them. It's been revealing where they've been emotionally restricted or spiritually asleep. And now, it's all bubbling up. What's wild is that even though you've been in separate locations, even though you haven't had those consistent 3D confirmations, you've still created this shared space in the spirit realm, a world where your thoughts meet, where your souls talk, where your energies touch. That's what the high priestess sees. She sees what's hidden, and she knows that what's unspoken is often more powerful than what's said out loud. You and your person have been having mirrored experiences, maybe not word for word, but energy for energy. And this full moon, it's amplifying that connection. But I want to reassure you, divine feminine, this exposure that's coming, it's not messy, it's not loud, it's not going to drag your connection into the spotlight. Spirit is protecting this. Everything that's rising is for the both of you to understand each other better, not to prove anything to the world. You don't have to worry about being put on blast or having your heart cracked open for others to see. This is quiet confirmation. This is sacred alignment. This is the universe saying, yes, you've both been feeling the same thing. And yes, it's time to acknowledge that. So, if you've been sensing a buildup, if your dreams have been more vivid, your emotions more intense, your thoughts more pulled toward your person, trust that, because your masculine is feeling it too. They might not know how to explain it, but it's hitting them hard. And while they may still try to hide it, the high priestess says, nothing stays hidden forever, especially not love, especially not truth, especially not a bond this divine. Divine feminine. The card that just came out for you is the Lovers, and the moment it touched the table, the energy around you shifted. This card doesn't just speak about romance, it speaks about soul-level alignment, spiritual choices, and the merging of energies that were never meant to stay separate. And as soon as I pulled it, I heard the words love versus lust. Not in a fearful way, but in a way that shows just how deeply your person feels you. Even from a distance, you awaken something in them that is both physical and spiritual, and it's happening at the exact same time. And because of this, Your connection is entering one of the most intense stages it has ever been in. Your person has always tried to keep these two energies separate. In their old life, love stayed in one box and desire stayed in another, and they never once overlapped, not until you. And that's why this energy feels dangerous to them, divine feminine, because it's triggering parts of them that they've never had to face before. Physical desire is something they know how to handle. Spiritual intimacy is something they've never been taught to navigate. But when it comes to you, both of these energies rise at the exact same time, and it's overwhelming them in ways they could never prepare for. And here's where it gets even deeper. What you've been feeling physically, those chills, the warmth in your body, the strange pressure around your heart or solar plexus, that's not random. That's Kundalini energy rising. And your person has been suppressing it for so long that the energy has nowhere to go. So instead, it spills over into your dreams, your emotions, your sleep, your body. You're feeling it because you're connected through the higher chakras, and their higher self has been trying to get your attention for weeks, maybe even months, without them fully understanding what they're doing. Your person is now realizing that they cannot suppress this connection without suppressing themselves. And that is exactly what the Lovers is showing here. Your masculine is being forced to integrate their inner feminine, the emotional, intuitive, creative part of themselves that they've been taught to ignore. They never knew that their ability to desire you physically was directly tied to their ability to love you spiritually. And now that both energies are rising at once, it feels like too much for them to process. That's why it feels dangerous, because it is powerful, raw, untamed energy trying to rise through someone who has never been taught how to carry it. Divine feminine, this is where you come in. You are naturally connected to this energy because your system knows how to handle it. You feel more, you sense more, and you move through your emotions with intuition rather than fear. That's why you're able to identify these bursts of intense energy even before you understand where they're coming from. And Spirit is showing me that you're about to guide your person, not by force, not by instruction, but by simply holding your frequency. When Kundalini rises without guidance, it can distort into confusion, obsession, or overwhelming desire. But when it rises through the heart chakra, it becomes devotion, clarity, and embodiment. And something else is finally becoming obvious. This has always been a joint experience. Everything your person suppresses, you feel amplified. Everything they ignore, you're forced to face. Everything they bury, your spirit pulls to the surface. That's why this energy has been so intense for you lately. The full moon is illuminating everything that has been left unspoken between the two of you. And even though neither of you have talked about it, your higher selves have been having this conversation for a long time. So yes, divine feminine, your person feels everything, even the parts they pretend not to feel, even the parts they try to hide. And the Lovers appearing here tells me that the universe is guiding both of you into a space where love and desire finally merge into one truth, not separate, not hidden, not confusing, but unified. And this is only the beginning. Before we pull the next card, I just want to pause for a moment and check in with you. How has this been resonating with you so far? If something in these first three cards has already spoken to your heart, let me know in the comments. I love reading how these messages meet you right where you are. All right, let's go ahead and see what Spirit has for us as we pull the next card. Okay, Divine Feminine. The card that just came out is Strength, and it makes perfect sense. Because what's unfolding right now in your connection isn't just emotional or energetic, it's spiritual power being recognized for the first time. And that power, it's yours. But here's the part your masculine is only now beginning to realize. The strength you carry is not loud or forceful. It's not in how you demand, chase, or speak. It's in how you love, how you wait, how you hold space, and how your presence continues to shift everything, even in silence. Your masculine may not have the right words to explain what's happening to him right now, but he feels it. Strong. And the thing that's really striking him during this full moon is the way your energy is actually healing him, without saying a word, without reaching out, without needing to prove anything. He's starting to see that you've been the source of every shift he's had, every awakening, every uncomfortable truth, every emotion he tried to bury. And what's more, Divine Feminine, he's seeing that what he thought was his power was never truly power at all. The Strength card here is not about physical force. It's not about dominance or control. It's about soft power, the kind that bends reality without lifting a finger. And that's what's being revealed to him now. Your masculine used to think he was in control, that he held the upper hand. But that illusion is shattering under the light of this full moon. He's seeing how the very energy that's been keeping him together during this transformation isn't coming from himself. It's coming from you, from the frequency you hold, from the love you've anchored, from the unspoken bond that stayed intact no matter how far apart you've been. And now he's a little stunned because he doesn't just feel this truth, he knows it. It's showing up in how deeply he thinks about you, in how uneasy he gets just imagining what it would be like to face you and look you in the eyes, knowing the kind of effect you have on him. This isn't just about attraction. This is about surrender. He can't explain why, but there's a part of him that feels completely undone in your presence, and not because you've tried to control him, but because you've reflected back to him what it looks like to hold power without abusing it. Divine Feminine, you've been walking through this journey thinking maybe your presence wasn't enough, that your silence wasn't working, that your surrender wasn't being felt. But your person is now being shown just how much power lives in your restraint, in your softness, in your spiritual alignment. They're realizing that the energy in this connection was never about push and pull. It was always about balance. And you have been the one holding that balance the entire time. There's something else Spirit is showing me here. This full moon isn't just illuminating your masculine's emotions. It's illuminating your connection's design. He's finally seeing that your bond isn't accidental or random. It's intentional. And more than that, he's beginning to understand that the energetic force he's felt his entire life, the one that both confuses and draws him in, it's you. You've always been the source, the one quietly weaving healing into every part of his life, even when he couldn't see it, even when he didn't believe it. And now that he knows, He doesn't know how to face it, because this truth changes everything. It rewrites who he thought he was. It redefines how he views you. It even makes him hesitate before reaching out, because this power, this level of truth, is overwhelming when you've lived your life avoiding it. But the beauty in this moment is that the veil is gone. The illusion is broken. And he sees you now, not just as a person, but as a mirror, as a frequency, as a force that's been guiding his soul all along. So, divine feminine, if you're feeling your energy being tugged on right now, that's why. If you're extra emotional, extra sensitive, or just feeling waves of energy coming in, your person is moving through this realization in real time. And the closer we get to the full moon, the more vivid it becomes. That's why Spirit is asking you to continue holding space. Not because your person is weak, but because they are learning how to hold the very power that lives inside them. And they're only just starting to see that power looks a lot like you. Okay, divine feminine. I just pulled the star for this next part of the reading. And wow, I felt that deep in my heart space. Because this card is all about spiritual connection across space and time. It's about the kind of love that exists beyond the physical, the kind that doesn't need words or presence to be felt. That's what your masculine is sitting in right now, that quiet, aching, soul-level longing for you. And it's not just physical, it's not just emotional, it's everything all at once. Even while you're apart, they're pulling on your energy in every single dimension. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and yes, even sexually. And you may be feeling that divine feminine. You might not be able to explain why your dreams are more vivid lately, or why you feel waves of energy hitting you when nothing in your outer world has changed. It's because their soul is reaching for yours. And what's wild about this is, it's not even about them chasing you. What they're really chasing is themselves. Or more specifically, the version of themselves they only ever feel when they're connected to you. That's the thing about the star. It represents a guiding light, a fixed point in the distance that keeps pulling the lost traveler back home. And divine feminine, you are that light for them. They're starting to realize that the more they explore these deep emotions and desires, the more they want to move closer to you. Not just physically, but spiritually. But what they don't fully realize yet is that this pull toward you is actually a pull toward their most authentic self. You're not just someone they want. You're someone who reflects the truth of who they really are. This is what makes a twin flame connection so powerful, because it's not just about union with you, it's about union with self. And that's what this Kundalini awakening is doing. It's peeling back every layer of their false identity, all the masks, all the survival patterns, all the beliefs that told them they couldn't be soft or vulnerable or safe in love. And every layer they shed brings them closer to you, because you share the same soul, divine feminine. That's why you feel each other so strongly, even in silence. That's why you sometimes feel like you're having experiences that don't even belong to you, because you're mirroring each other's journey. And here's the beautiful part. You're not just the mirror, you're the catalyst. Your energy is the reason this awakening is even happening. And while it may look different for them, more sudden, more confusing, it's happening just as deeply. Your person may not have the words for it, but their higher self is screaming through the connection, I long for you. And not just in the romantic sense. They're longing for the truth, for the peace, for the homecoming that only your shared frequency can give. But there's something really sacred happening here too. The star is also a card of divine timing and preparation. And that's what this phase of the journey is about. Even if this silence feels hard, it's doing something important. Because you're both being prepared to hold one another's energy correctly. You're healing your inner masculine, and they're healing their inner feminine. And what that means is, when you do come back together, it won't be rushed or chaotic or confusing. It'll be clear, aligned, stable. The foundation is being laid now. So if you've been wondering why your person feels closer than ever, even while physically distant, it's because on a soul level, they are. They're sitting in the same energetic space you are. They're moving through the same healing, and it's all being held together by the star that is you. You are the constant in this journey. You are the one whose presence has never left. And that's why this connection keeps expanding. Because your love, your light has always been the compass. All right, Divine Feminine, I just pulled the final card for this reading, and it's Judgment. And the moment I flipped this one over, I felt it in my chest. Because this is the energy of realization, of seeing everything with clear eyes. It's about reckoning with your own past, your own truth, and waking up to something much deeper than what the surface ever showed. Your masculine is sitting in this energy right now, and it's heavy, but in the kind of way that finally clears the fog. And the first truth hitting them right now, they let you down. As the full moon energy builds, they're not just thinking of you, they're feeling you. Physically, emotionally, energetically. It's like your presence is surrounding them even when you're not there, and it's bringing up every moment they misunderstood your depth. Every time they thought this was just about the physical. Every time they couldn't see your spiritual signature for what it really was, sacred. This full moon isn't just stirring up their emotions, it's exposing the layers of self-deception. Because they're starting to realize that this wasn't like any other connection they've known. This bond never operated on 3D rules. And now they're feeling the weight of that truth. Judgment energy is also about the duality of pleasure and purpose, and that's exactly what they're processing. For so long, they tried to put you in one category or the other. But now they see it. You were always both, the embodiment of divine mystery and earthly beauty, love and lust, spirit and body. You're not someone who can be understood with logic. You have to be felt, held through frequency first, not form. And that's something they couldn't grasp before, because they weren't connected to their own feminine energy. They weren't in touch with the part of themselves that knew how to sit with softness, with mystery, with emotional truth. They were operating in an over-masculinized mode, burned out, hardened, disconnected from their own center. But now, they're surrendering. That's what judgment does. It humbles. It reveals the limits of control and invites you to release. And that's what's happening. They're finally beginning to see you for who you are, divine feminine. Not just the idea of you, not just the fantasy, but the truth of your energy. Your mystical, intuitive, nurturing, untouchable presence. And it's making them realize that physical closeness without spiritual understanding was never going to be enough. That's why there were delays. That's why things stalled. Because spirit wouldn't let this connection move forward unless it was aligned in truth. Right now, they're in a deep state of reflection, mentally revisiting every choice they made, every time they dismissed what they felt, every time they tried to reduce you to something easier to understand. But the truth is, Divine Feminine, you are not easy to understand. You are a force, a mirror, a mystery wrapped in light. And unless your masculine learns to hold your energy with care, with reverence, with presence, they'll never be ready to hold you physically. And that realization is hitting them like a wave. They're seeing now that their focus on union was always rooted in the material, when what you really needed was spiritual protection, alignment, intention. But this is the part that Spirit really wants you to understand. This shift isn't just happening to them, it's happening to both of you. Because even though they're longing for you, even though they're pulling on your energy with more clarity than ever, this is also your awakening. You've been healing your inner masculine just as they've been healing their inner feminine. You've been learning to receive, to let go of chasing, to hold space instead of filling it. And all of that work, it's what created the frequency shift they're finally responding to now. So if you feel waves of energy, some soft, some intense, some even sensual, just know that it's not random. Your person is in a spiritual initiation, and this connection is being recalibrated from the inside out. There's a push and pull in their system right now, because for the first time, they're not just desiring you, they're understanding the why. They're recognizing how their lack of emotional alignment impacted you. They're seeing the spiritual consequence of trying to reach for you before they were ready to rise to meet you. Divine Feminine, the veil is lifting. And the closer we get to the full moon, the more the truth becomes undeniable for both of you. What was hidden is now seen. What was fragmented is being healed. This is a divine reckoning, a moment of choosing, not from ego, but from soul. And that's where we'll end this reading. Because judgment doesn't just mark the end of a cycle, it marks the beginning of the real journey, the one that starts from truth, from presence, from love that has been tested, awakened, and chosen all over again. Take a breath, hold space. You've already done more than you know. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. What we've seen here is a reminder that your energy is powerful, your journey is guided, and Spirit is always working in ways you may not fully see yet. Trust that what is meant for you will always find its way, and you don't need to chase. Just allow yourself to stay aligned and open. If you feel called to dive deeper, the exclusive and extended version of our readings are available right now on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. That's where we really expand on these messages and explore the layers that Spirit couldn't fit into this space. Also, don't forget to check out the community posts and today's energy reading updates. I love connecting with you there and hearing how these messages meet you in your own journey. Drop your comments below, share your personal requests, and let me know how this reading spoke to you. And if you'd like to keep the energy flowing, I've linked some other videos here that I know will guide and encourage you. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.